we live through on a daily. We still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, church trap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Church trap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Welcome to another episode of Clickbaity Political ThirstTrap. I am one of your two hosts, Marcus Farrell, joined by my brother, the King, Mondale Robinson. How are you, sir?
What's good, man? What's up, Squirrel Games? Good to see y'all out there in the interwebs. And it's good to be back on the air. It's weird being on the air at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But we are here. We are here to bring you the gospel as it is told from two Negro men in these United States in the year 2021 of our Lord. Marcus, what's popping? What you been up to? How's the shit going? We got so much shit to talk about, so make it quick. Don't you get on the sermon because you look like you about to give a sermon.
Hey, look here there, buddy. My sermon days haven't even started. I could preach about your brand new iPhone, Mr. I gotta have everything first technology, man. But I ain't gonna get on you right now because you know us working class folks.
Wow. Wow. I ain't working class no more. No,
us working class folks, you know, we got regular lives to live. Now I'm doing good, man. You know, this is it's been interesting. I started a workout regime, trying to get my muscle up while I, you know, have lost a whole hell of a lot of fat because of because of the surgery that I had. And now I'm just trying to tone up, you know, get it right. Going on bike rides, jumping on the Peloton and hitting the weight room, bro. You know what I mean? So I can be swole like you, big swole.
Yeah, you know, I ain't never been swole in my life. Too much alcohol lately, so I've been trying to cut back on alcohol a whole lot, man. I've been I started this dope ass like outpatient therapy around like alcohol and like abusing alcohol. So it's been pretty cool. I didn't know at first. I didn't know it was a Christian-based program. So it was kind of interesting because the first person they connected me with was this white person, and I think their idea. I don't know if you see my posts lately, Marcus. They've been very like grounded in theology, but black theology, not that goddamn blue-eyed, not that blue-eyed Jesus. So yeah, it was kind of cool because it reconnected me to like me trying to make people understand how Christian I am. And I didn't think people been fucking confused when I had this post a few days ago about being lonely with no friends, and I think it threw you off too. But I had to clarify. So many people was writing me like, "Yo, you all right? You good?" And I'm like, I need y'all to just go to the motherfucking comments and see the comments, because I was trying to say something. It was a biblical statement. It wasn't about like my personal people I come into contact with. It's about what happens when you are set early on in life on like doing what you're supposed to be doing and busy about it. So, you know, I'm good, man. Plus it's so
a lot of people don't know this, but Mondale is a theology guy. He knows a lot about the Bible, which makes his sins even worse. But
so his ratchetness is worse.
Yeah, his ratchetness is a very planned, calculated ratchetness. Now it's good. As a matter of fact, I know they tried to cancel the baby, but the baby and Wayne got a song that I've been listening to a lot lately called "Lonely." Y'all should go check it out. You want to get into serious first, because I kind of want to get into some fun and then go serious. Is that cool?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do fun, let's start out with fun. I mean, we are Click fucking Baity, and Netflix to name the goddamn show Clickbait. So I mean, let's get back to our roots. Let's start off a little ratchet.
Yeah, listen. First, fuck everybody who has a problem with AOC's dress. Okay.
What happened?
Okay. Throw that picture up on the screen. Dwayne, because this is if you don't know, the Met Gala was held last night in New York City, and Sister AOC came through came through with the gorgeous dress that said "Tax the Rich" on it at AOC at the Met Gala. Tax the rich, right? And we've seen these dresses. We've seen dresses with statements on them before. I believe there was one sister who had the dress that said Trump 2020 or Trump 2016 or something like that. And AOC showed up, and it's kind of the irony is, and the heat she's been taking is, what is she doing hanging out with people at the Met Gala who are definitely some of the richest, most successful entertainers and business folks in the world? Why would she even show up to the Met Gala, and what is she doing? Well, listen, if you ain't at the table, folks, if you ain't at the table, then you're on the menu, right? And as much as some of our friends and family like to give Barack Obama props, Barack Obama gives props for symbolism. And a lot of people are still defending Barack's symbolism, the symbolism of Barack Obama to this day. Not the tangible actions, right? Which we can argue whether he did a lot or he did little, but the symbolism of the first black president, the first black male president, is something that we look at a lot. So I think that, we know the proof is in the pudding with AOC. We know, and a lot of folks are like, she doesn't do enough, and she hasn't forced the vote.
Fuck the haters, man. Listen, Marcus. Yeah. The dumb shit is it. Here's the dumb shit. If she's at the Met Gala, these are probably the wealthiest people in the world. So her wearing that dress is a bigger fucking statement. She's telling them in their face, this is how I feel about you all. Every last one of you all, this is how I feel about you. So people that can't get that is ridiculous. And I think that, to me, that's a powerful statement. And what better place in her city, right? She's from New York. She lives in New York. She's a representative of the city. Why not fucking show up like that? Tax the rich. I feel that way every fucking day. So I feel like people are looking for, in this moment, people are looking for reasons not to have to deal with anything that's not a facade or polite. So I'm at a space right now, and this is post-COVID. COVID gave me alcohol. Like after COVID, after COVID, I've been real frustrated with this entire experiment called pop culture and the way we see what's real and what ain't fucking real. So I'm short on criticism of somebody wearing a tax the rich to a rich party. That to me is a major sign of fucking protest. I love that. What a wonderful idea. I just wish the dress was black. I wish everything was black.
Right. A little bit, what you say, a little bit more regal, a little bit more elegant. But if that's the only complaint, then we ain't hurting for anything. Real quick, folks, while we're at it, you guys are watching Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. We are the Squirrel Gang. You guys have to share and like this post before we even get started. Share. What are you guys doing? We only got a couple of people on here watching right now. Y'all know we don't come on live all the time anymore. So when we get on live, go ahead and share, like, retweet, do what you got to do, because we're gonna come with that fire every single time. And thank you for the super chats, folks. Thank you for the super chat, Jonathan. If AOC were white, there would have been no criticism telling how forced the vote and right wingers join hand to attack black and brown progressives. That has been a very real issue as of recently, and considering the fact that everyone's favorite, what is it? What's the name? The People's Party has finally decided, interestingly enough, has finally decided to create a black platform, a black agenda. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this before we move into the news, because I got to talk about them a little bit. Movement for a People's Party is a good idea in theory, but in theory alone, because we know theory without action is just words flapping around in the air. Movement for a People's Party is supposed to be the alternative to the Republican and Democratic Party and the folks who are not necessarily feeling the Green Party. And these brothers and these people at the Movement for a People's Party, and this has been covered widely, have allowed in their chat rooms for black organizers to be called nigga with the hard ER. right? And instead of punishing the folks who use that kind of language, they decided to kick the black organizers out. Now, here's my issue. Why do black folks have to fight for every single goddamn thing, even in the newest form, whether it's marijuana laws and policies, whether it's a new sport that gets created, and of course, whether it's a new party? So Nick Bronner, someone who I know, and I worked with on Bernie Sanders 2016, and of course Jimmy Dore and everyone else have finally sort of said, well, we need to do something about black folks. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this right here. Whenever that white progressive former Bernie universe, and not all of them, but most of them, whenever they come together to do something black, they do two things. They do it half-assed, and they get a representative that does not allude to blackness. And yes, there's not only one way to be black, right? There's many ways to be a black American, but some of these folks who are representing these organizations, they ain't black. They don't have an understanding of it. They don't, and I'm tired of that cap-ass thought process, that lying-ass thought process that just because I say I'm black means that I am black. You could say you're black and have no black agenda. You could say you're black and have no understanding of nuance when it comes down to policing, when it comes down to parenthood, when it comes down to infant mortality, when it comes down to just basic walking down the street. You just because you say you're black and you don't defend these things or fight for rights of other African Americans in this country, it does not mean that you're black. So stop it. I just wanted to bring that up because I'm tired of these capping ass cappers.
I mean, these are the same people that will say that black is a social construct and then forget that, how you show up socially, it should be, if that's your measurement, then let's judge you based on how you show up socially. What are you doing for the advancement of black folk? And I'm not out here to police anybody's blackness. If you're black, you're black. Here's what I would say though. You can be black and be the enemy. And I think that's what. So before anybody get confused by what Marcus is saying, I think Marcus is saying that being black requires so much more. This is the loneliness I was talking about in the post, Marcus. I've been blessed to know what God put me here for and been doing it for a while, and it requires me to act and show up as a nomad, which is toxic. Personally, if you're in a relationship with me, personally, Marcus, months without a phone call, text message, or some shit, but I'm just busy in my head doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing. So I gotta
disagree with you about one thing. I am going to police your blackness. I'm tired of that.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you. Yeah, I mean, like the reason, and my point is, I'm not gonna police you, but I'll definitely point out where you fall short. I mean, I'm super critical of black people that show up like Black Men Vote, that organization. And I told them, and I still tell people, like if I think your politics is hurting my community, I don't give a fuck what you look like. I don't care if you're I don't care who you are. I will say something about it and then deal with the ramifications afterwards. Here's what's interesting though. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable at the rate at which people bullshit black people. You naming yourself a people's party and then blocking black people for being called nigger is as white and as conservative as any other, as a Democratic Party, as a Republican Party, and as a Green Party. Shit, let me say it a different way. And the Socialist Party. I was doing some just reading and thinking about, you was talking shit about Barack Obama and his symbolic presidency. If we consider that Barack Obama's called Barack Obama's idea of the greatest motherfucking philosopher of all time is Baumheimer. I read this motherfucker, man. This motherfucker wouldn't say shit about race. And this is, his time was during the 50s and 60s. And he didn't say shit about race at all, except for to say that racism was bad. But he also said that in the church, white people shouldn't be forced to have to go to church with black people. That's how Barack Obama show up, and also the moderate black folk that we deal with on a regular basis when we're doing this work. They show up just like that. They show up in a way that they say Black Lives Matter, but then they also say Alicia Garza and the crew are too motherfucking loud, and they're asking for too much too fast. So I think, Marcus, that that I am gonna police your blackness falls in that realm where you saying fuck out of here with that bullshit. Stop telling me to wait. Stop telling me Bernie Sanders is progressive when he was not even where Jesse Jackson was in the 80s. Stop telling me that white people understand conservatism, and I'm talking about saving the environment, but they don't give a fuck. They give a fuck about saving dogs, cats, and trees, but they'll let you toxic the fuck out of black neighborhoods. You can dump anything you want in black neighborhoods, and white people ain't protesting that shit. But you better not cut down a pine tree in goddamn Segoa fucking farm. So fuck out of here with all of that I'm progressive on what I want to be progressive on. Fuck out of here on that. What happened? What about the FBI?
Well,
okay. She was just. I thought she said about FBI. Yeah. The sis was just talking about the moderate. I'm not surprised. I feel like all white people allow racists to moderate everything in their life. If you don't believe me, look how little we get as a people. Look how far so many other demographics and people have moved, and I'm proud of that and I celebrate that. But look how high America's tolerance for black pain is, and how short our motherfucking gains are. We are still we're less rich now than we were in the 60s as it pertains to the black family. We have less gains now as it pertains to the economy than we did in so many other times. So I'm not impressed with American moderate. The American moderate is a motherfucker. And we even saw, what's the sister name that was part of the Women's March? Vanessa.
Yeah.
We watched the magazine right after the 58th March on. Y'all gotta excuse the drilling back there. I'm getting my bathroom redone. But you gotta Vanessa took credit for fucking planning and being responsible for the 58th anniversary of the March on Washington a couple weeks ago, and just kept moving with it and raised a bunch of fucking money off of it. So we know what they do and how they show up. What? The problem is so many of us sit idle because we want to be close to that. We want to be in proximity to that motherfucking comfort level. And I don't give a fuck about that comfort level because it causes me to lose sleep.
Yo, listen, Mondale, you said moderates in symbolism. I'm gonna take it a step further, and then head on back to policing blackness, because there is one individual I want to police their blackness on. But I'm going to say progressives and conservatives and moderates, progressives and conservatives. The progressive agenda that is proposed to every single aspect of modern politics right now, everything that everyone is fighting for, free college, ending student debt, Medicare for all. I mean, these are things that I all want and I think are necessary, but if they pass as it is right now, it's symbolic to black people. It doesn't change our plight. All of it is symbolic to black folks because it doesn't change our plight, because none of this stuff addresses systemic racism, right? Hence me always pushing for reparations. So symbolism goes across the board in modern politics, right? And there's no center of African Americans in their politics. Therefore, when I see black people who are capping for the establishment, whether that's the progressive, moderate, or conservative establishment, I say you deserve to get beat like cops beat real black people. Yes, you do. You sucker ass motherfuckers. And speaking of another sucker ass MFer, the California recall election. California voters are headed to the polls today to decide whether to remove Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom. If a majority of voters vote yes to the recall, he'll be out of office, and the top vote getter on the ballot second question about who should replace Newsom will take over. The effort to oust Newsom, who was elected in 2018, was launched last year by conservative Californians critical of the governor's record on multiple issues. The effort gained steam after criticism of Newsom's handling of the pandemic. Elder's campaign website, Larry Elder, a black person who deserves to get policed, Website now features a link to the website that makes basic and vague assertions of fraud in the recall and urges residents to sign a petition demanding a special session of the California legislature to investigate and ameliorate the twisted results of the 2021 recall election of Governor Gavin Newsom. This is the day. On the day, the results haven't even started getting tabulated yet. And on the day of the election, Larry Elder's campaign is already claiming voter fraud. The irony of this right here is Larry Elder's campaign made a very weak attempt to attract African Americans, yet on the same token, on the opposite end of the spectrum, uses the most classic American tactic of voter suppression whenever African Americans and brown people vote, to say that they believe that there's going to be a faulty election. And that is just complete criminal crap. And I'm sick of it.
Listen,
you got go ahead.
Listen, you got a clip, Dwayne? Run that clip, then I'll talk.
Republican frontrunner Larry Elder's website is saying Elder has already lost and blames voter fraud, all before a single vote has been tabulated. A website paid for by Elder's campaign claims statistical analyses have detected.
Go back, stop. We got to stop. That's the dude. That's the dude right there. We got his picture. That's the dude who had this picture. You know what I'm talking about, Mondale? That's the guy. His picture was the mugshot picture, the drawing. You remember that?
Oh, I remember the drawing, the mugshot. It looks just like him, don't it? But guess what? I ain't gonna do that because that's too stereotypical. Anyway,
all right,
play the clip.
Sorry. Play the clip, Dwayne.
A website paid for by Elder's campaign claims statistical analyses have detected voter fraud in California, resulting in Elder's defeat. Such an analysis would be impossible since no votes have been counted. The website's claim was first reported in the Sacramento Bee on Friday.
Here's the tragedy. Coupled with the fact that you have no shame that you created a fake website to claim that the election fraud happened. That is some disgusting shit, and it should be disqualifying for whatever office you're attempting to run for. Secondly, for a black man to be running around California, a state where black men are less than 5% of the population, but more than 25% of the prison population, for him to be running around touting conspiracies from QAnon who don't give a fuck about us, it is absolutely disgusting. I mean, he sounds just like QAnon. These motherfuckers, Q has been running these anti-protests or these anti-lockdown protests all over the state, saying the same shit about election fraud before any votes have been counted. It is absolutely tragic that we have just given up on the idea that democracy matters. Motherfuckers are willing to steal the election, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Dude literally paid for the website to claim that some shit was fake, just so he can raise money off of it and also attempt to tear down their elections. This shit should be comedy. Actually, if you wrote this shit, nobody would believe it. They would be like, this is not real. However, it is the current place we find ourselves in American politics, and it can only exist because of Donald Trump. But before Donald Trump, it can only exist because we allowed so much other bullshit, like Bush lie about the Iraqi war, or our reason for being in Iraq, like Ronald Reagan stealing and selling fucking guns to South America, then telling those people that they got a drug problem when all those shit's coming to America. Ronald Reagan running ads about Willie Lynch, or I'm sorry, Willie Horton, John F. Kennedy sitting silent and quiet until he's forced to say something when King is locked up in fucking jail in Birmingham. So all of this shit is linked, and when we don't link it, we do ourselves a disservice and think it just popped up out of nowhere. This shit did not just pop up out of nowhere. All of this shit is historically tied, even to the point where we could tie back to 2021 years ago when they hung Jesus in a very disgusting way on a cross. The way that you hang people that you want to be embarrassed and ostracized. When we allowed them to disconnect that hanging, I said hanging him from a cross from the hanging of black bodies throughout the South, kids, women, and men, and non-gender conforming folk all over the South. then we also did a fucking disservice, and we get food to believe that none of this shit is not motherfucking connected, or we could do nothing about it. However, all we have to do is pay attention and call out the actors if they look like us or not, and hold them accountable. This shit can end, bro. There is an end to white racism. It just requires people to be motherfucking awake and also in tune all the fucking time, and not going home and saying, well, it ain't my battle. I ain't picking that battle. I'm gonna let that one pass. Letting that one pass is also being a co-conspirator in racism and racist acts. So all of these black folk out here laughing and joking on the conservative side, talking about Candace Owens and them. And then on our side, the other motherfuckers like Barack Obama, you too have a role in this shit when you want to have a beer for Beergate, but you don't really want to deal with the racism and police brutality. Then you get out of office and you want to start talking shit about the black experience that you learned about in a bar when you were 15 or 16.
Yeah, listen, it's like there is a segment of society that thinks this is the history of African Americans. And let me just go through the brief history of African Americans for some of these people. And Dwayne, please check that text message because I want you to download a clip. But this is the brief history of African Americans to a certain segment. And this segment is the critical race theory, folks. This segment is the pull yourself up by the bootstraps, folks. This history is for them is why don't you guys naturally do better? They think Black people were in Africa. They magically appeared in America. Benjamin Banneker, March on Washington, Barack Obama. Shut up. That's the whole history of Blacks in America. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that Barack Obama and Martin Luther King's speech, March on Washington's speech was the emphasis of what African Americans have gone through, and it all ties in together from the belief, like Mondale said, of conservatives, and people think that they can just say whatever they want to and get away with it because the lack of accountability across the board. There has been a lack of accountability in American government for years, and it has gone all the way since the founding of this country to this year, where there's a lack of accountability to question cinema. There's a lack of accountability to question Joe Manchin. There is more accountability to question Clickbaity Political ThirstTrap, AOC's dress, and Nina Turner running for Congress from our side of the house than there is in general. And it's a shame. It's a shame. We have figured out a nuanced way to make sure that we can hide, that they can throw their rocks, hide their hands, and then say, how come you guys didn't do better? And that is a problem in general. Speaking of accountability, our dear brother, Joe Biden. Did you see yesterday when Joe Biden got cut off? His speech got cut off mid-speech. Mondale.
Go ahead, brother. I'm listening.
So Mondale,
I thought we talked to the audience. You talking to me directly?
Yes, absolutely. I'm talking to the man
on this show. We talk to the squirrels, man.
Oh well, yeah. And speaking of,
we talk at each other and talk to the squirrels.
We got some squirrel stuff coming up later on, but Biden decided that he was gonna he was speaking, and when he went off turn, they went ahead and tried to reel him in. So shout out, because we know he's gaffe prone. So shout out to the White House for actually doing one thing really good, keeping Biden from messing up any further than he needs to. How will Biden's vaccine mandate impact workers and companies? President Joe Biden announced new mandates last Thursday to spur Americans who are not vaccinated against COVID-19 to get a shot. It applies to over 100 million workers, but not known how many of those already vaccinated. Federal workers have roughly 75 days to get themselves vaccinated, the White House indicated. And it includes limited expectations for legally recognized reasons, such as disability, religious objections. In addition, OSHA will issue a rule to require employers with more than 100 employees to ensure workers get vaccinated or tested weekly. That would have an impact on some 80 million private sector workers. Will also apply to public sector, state and local government workers, including educators, school staffs in 26 states and 2 territories with a state OSHA plan. Companies that don't comply with the rule could be fined nearly $1,400 per violation, and there's going to be a lot of fine companies around this thing.
Listen, there's something in that linguist. No, I'm not a linguist. I just enjoy learning and reading about West African languages and also its connection to how we speak English in this country. Black people, I'm talking about. So what I learned was this word called semantics drift. Right? Semantic drift is when a word start out meaning something and then it evolves into something else, right? The evolution of words.
That's right.
Drift.
That's right.
Clearly, because of COVID and Donald Trump, I've seen 2 things that I've never fucking seen happen so fast in language. Words changed so fast. In one election cycle, Donald Trump had the whole fucking world saying, what was the word they created instead of calling him a liar? Untruths. The motherfucker was a liar. Second word is mandate. Joe Biden didn't do a fucking mandate. This is my problem. Mandate means it's obligatory. If you still have the option to not do it, you're not mandated to do it. And we're sitting here playing so fucking polite when so many people are dying from not being vaccinated. Make this shit happen and tell motherfuckers to get the fuck out of my face. This is the idea that we're covering so many stories about so much COVID death is unbelievable to me when our entire lives we've walked around with fucking vaccination passports. Liberty fucking cars that just to go to school, you got shot up with everything. So many of us in this country, swear to God, we love the military. We're patriotic. We love our veterans. You know how much shit we got shot up with, Marcus, that we didn't have a fucking clue about or say? My fucking second day, I didn't even know who my drill instructor was. And the United States Marine Corps was already pumping my body full of fucking medicine that I had no say over. I was vaccinated from everything from sand fleas to dirt bugs. Fuck out my face, get the shots or stay the fuck at home. Period.
Same.
Period.
Same. Same. Unless you have some kind of medical condition, man. Same.
Unless you have exactly. Like and then those people will be protected because everybody else will be fucking vaccinated. Man, the world is looking at us like we're stupid. The EU closed the gates again. It was like, we ain't really fucking dealing with those idiots over there because since they don't want to get vaccinated, we don't want them over here. Motherfuckers, it's absolutely ridiculous. A vaccine, we have access to the vaccine. There are countries in this world that don't even have enough access to vaccines to vaccinate their people, and we got it over this motherfucker, and idiots won't even take it. Not even realizing that this shit's keep mutating because these stupid motherfuckers won't fucking take the vaccine. Get vaccinated.
It is the sheer apex cap of misinformation when it comes down to the vaccine itself is at the point of ridiculousness. I love you, Nicki Minaj, but you so wrong.
Oh my God, that shit was whack.
You're so wrong. And like, just because you're loud, I'm gonna tell you what's ghetto. You could be loud and not be ghetto.
Earth is ghetto.
Being ghetto is being loud about something you have no fucking clue about what's going on, right? And like, that's losing the magic, black girl, right? Stop trying to make science happen for your cause. Stop trying to be the coolest dude or gal or girl or woman or man in any atmosphere, whether that's hip hop space, the club, or you getting into an argument on the street corner. Y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes down to these vaccines. You don't know what you're talking about. They keep talking and repeating talking points that literally don't make sense and don't make science. And it's the only time in the world where black hoteps and Republicans get together on the same goddamn page and start agreeing with each other. It's like we don't listen to anything a Republican has to say unless they talk about the vaccines. Girl, you take that vaccine, you're going to glow in the dark. Girl, boy, if you take that vaccine, your testicles going to stop working. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Actually, if they take the vaccine, I wish it did make motherfuckers' testicles stop working. Then we could just send it to Texas, and then we don't have to fucking ban abortion. We could just make niggas get the fucking shot. do it that way. These
we don't
motherfuckers
even
making
have
up
enough
signs
time.
just like that. It's that
We don't
stupid,
even have
bro.
enough time to talk about Texas. You know, we haven't touched Texas yet, man. But you brought it up, dog. Like, what's going on in Texas, man? What is happening?
I know what's going on in
bro?
Texas. I know what's going on in Texas. Greg
happening?
fucking Abbott and his crew. Greg Abbott and his crew. I mean, bro, it is absolutely disgusting. This motherfucker was on a rampage from the abortion shit. Then this motherfucker had the audacity to be like, someone asked him about, well, you have no exceptions for people who are raped or anything, and he was like, oh, we're gonna end rape in Texas. That was his fucking comeback. And we're talking about a recall in California. How is this motherfucker not recalled? How can a conservative, supposedly conservative minority in California get enough energy and chutzpah to motherfucking create a recall in California, but we can't, and the Democrats in Texas can't recall this motherfucker? Fuck him. Then it didn't even stop there. It just got worse, right? It just got worse about his motherfucking voting rights shit. And it's just absolutely disgusting, man, that it goes on and on. And now, I mean, I already see what's happening. They're gearing up to say that, oh, the only person that we got a chance to win Texas, but the only person that can beat Abbott is going to be that goddamn boy, Beto O'Rourke. And Beto O'Rourke can't beat nobody. That motherfucker he needs to stop running for office, stop taking up space, stop being white, go back to the private sector and donate all his political money to somebody that has a fucking opportunity to win him. Probably a Latinx sister who can unite that community, and then hopefully the black votes get behind her. But we are fucking lost as it pertains to what's going on in the South and Texas, but it's because of our strategists, meaning the white folk write the strategy that will elect or unelect motherfuckers and allow people like Abbott to remain in office when he is so easily defeatable. But we want to spend money on ads and not talking to people, or more importantly, listen to people. So Texas is going on in Texas.
Yeah, Texas is going on in Texas. And to touch on your last point, I mean, when I saw that Jeff Weaver was on Senator Turner's campaign, I am not going to cap. I was a little bit surprised, especially as a max out donor. Now, I love Senator Turner to death. That is my sister. That is one of the people that I look up to in politics. But on the same token, we got to get new people. We got to get new people. We have to start, especially if you were in the South, Mondale. You're absolutely correct. The same crew of consultants who have this objection almost to running campaigns that are tailored to the country and to the demographics of the states that we need to win. They're running the same campaigns, and I keep making this Iowa comparison. They treat campaigns like everywhere is Iowa, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and they are in the same kind of class and group as the people who are currently elected. I mean, you know, Joe Biden uses some of these guys, and it's ironic when Joe Biden will tell an organization like yourself, like yours, Mondale, that we need to out-organize and organize more instead of doing the work that it takes to win, and understanding that you actually have to freaking do something. But consultants, even themselves, don't want to do something in messaging in their campaigns. Let's not promise too much, because those Negroes might try to hold us accountable. And Lord knows we can't do that. Lord knows we can't do that.
Well, I mean, you know, and the idea that, I mean, well, let's just call it what it is, man. Like, everybody's talking about we need a poll, run a poll, what the polls say. That shit is trash, man. First of all, polls are static. They're not realistic. The instruments are created in a way where they don't get real fucking answers from black people, especially so-called sporadic black men who don't really trust anybody associating with politics. And I think, you know, we see this especially in the South, where we have these people from fucking great Northeast with fucking Ivy League educations coming down trying to ask questions, or not even coming down, just calling people houses thinking they're getting fucking honest answers, or that those answers are beyond that moment. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Even when you have a black face showing up in that manner with the same fucking question that the white person would ask, you're gonna get the same fucked up ass response. And it's tragic, because I see people hiring this fucking consultant who's a black consultant, black poster, who's out here doing the work of fucking white, the Democratic Party. That's why they like him so much. He's saying the same fucking thing that they said.
Don't tell me.
He's saying the same thing they said. And for me, man, and you know me, Marcus, I don't give a fuck. So, but the true problem is though, what happens is they take that shit, run with it, and they get to check off, oh yeah, black face, black body, you know what I'm saying? The poster was black. This is what he said about the people. And the information is wrong. And when you say something wrong, they begin to ignore you. Ask Cornell Beltram, who was saying something completely different than the other poster I'm talking about last election cycle. And at the end of the year, Cornell numbers look like what I was saying and how black men turned out. Yet and still, people still are going with the other person because he's more palatable. He's a product of the fucking campaign world. He's a product of the democratic structure now, and he's not pushing back or rocking their boats, and he's not requiring them to be radical. He's letting them stay comfortable with their Bernie Sanders mittens on and prepare for the next inauguration.
Come on, man, Bernie Sanders. Well, see, the problem is there won't be any more inaugurations, Mondale. We're not going to win. We're not going to win. You know what? We're going to get back to this. You're watching Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. You are rocking with Mondale Robinson and Marcus Farrell. You can find me at Marcus for America on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me at Marcus Farrell on Facebook. Please go visit restorativeroots.life, restorativeroots.net. Go and get you a t-shirt. Go ahead and support a black-owned cannabis company. And also, Mondale, where can they find you at, my brother?
Yeah, I'm at Black Male Voter Project everywhere on all social media platforms. You could reach out to Mondale Robinson on social media platforms, but I'm on some other shit right now. I got some shit going on. Also, I got a secret that I'm gonna drop with you all on one of these Tuesdays coming up real soon. Not right now, but it's gonna be kind of big. Oh,
hey, listen, I look forward to it every single time. Every single time you say something is about to be kind of big, my life changes for a week or so. So it's always very interesting. Listen, we're going to run to break real quick. We'll be right back.
Gang, gang.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, Clickbaity Political, yeah, Thirst Trap, Trap Squad, Squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege, take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacy system that we live on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent Clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, hey squad, let me hear your trap squad, trap squad. Show the squirrels the chicken wing. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, trap squad, trap squad. Clickbaity, trap squad, trap squad. Hey squad, let me hear your trap squad, trap squad. Show the squirrels the chicken wing. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, trap squad, trap squad. Clickbaity, trap squad.
Welcome back, Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Mondale, we're going to lose. Mondale, there will not be any more inaugurations. Mondale, they don't treat black men. They don't treat black voters. They don't treat Latinx voters. They don't treat voters who have real issues with respect by attempting to hold the people who hold the process of progressive politics, and I mean by pushing politics forward progressively. They don't stop them from messing things up. We're gonna lose. I call it out right now. And don't come at me like you're a defeatist. I'm not a defeatist. I'm a black voter. I'm a black male voter, and I see what's important to me. Like, away from this show, away from my viewpoints on this show, there are some things that are fundamentally important to me that no one has addressed. They addressed it during the primaries, and then as soon as that was over with, and we gave them what they needed. We gave them a victory in the White House. We gave them a Senate. We gave them a House. And they have not fundamentally been showing up to us. So what is the talking points that they can use to make black voters get interested in them again? We can't keep saving this country and getting nothing from it. And miss me with the thought process that black voters are are voting to for the less of all evils, right? Miss me with that. Like at some point we're going to start voting for. We have to start voting for, and the young folks are going to do it, voting for issues that they care about and they want to see some tangible results. And we still have not seen that yet. We're going to lose. We're going to lose because we're losing interest in all types of things. A generation of American men give up on college. I just feel lost. According to the Wall Street Journal, men now trail female college students by record levels. Women make up 59.5% of college students. Men make 40.5%. Enrollment data from the National Student Clearinghouse, and I'm pretty sure in the African American community, it might even be a larger gap.
Well, the gap between black men and black women, it varies. It's definitely one of the widest gaps out of any demographic. But it varies depending on the income ratio. I think those that make less than 45,000, those that come from families that are making less than 45,000, I think the gap is extremely large there, where sisters are going to school at like somewhere around 70%, and brothers are a whole lot less. And then we have when you go up to like the next income bracket. Anyway, yes, Marcus, it is a wide gap between black. What was interesting though is how white men are giving up on college too. Especially, I mean, if you go back and look at it, it's telling us that
Why is it interesting, Mondale?
Well, because first of all, they've made college not motherfucking a smart investment anymore, right? There was a time when an entire generation, the entire America's idea or anything similar to a middle class came from the GI Bill after World War II, and also the money that veterans were allowed to get, white veterans were allowed to get to buy houses. There was no middle class before World War II. World War II created the middle class. Right after that, the GI Bill. So the fact that you see this generation realizing that this is no longer the way to middle class. This is no longer the way to move out of the problems I find myself in. So I think what's really telling though, Marcus, is the fact that because education is rising every fucking year astronomically, but we still are making the same amount of money we were making in the 70s. Talking about all people, the federal income is still $725. It is absolutely, maybe a little bit more now, but it's absolutely disgusting that education to get you a $40,000 job now costs you $240,000. when the GI Bill was passed, it cost you $16,000 for all 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's right. I mean, you could get an education from the motherfuckers in Europe, in Britain and UK were protesting when they raised the cost of tuition for Oxford to $5,000. Those motherfuckers was protesting. $5,000 a semester can't get you a college education at community college in America. And Oxford costs that much for the UK citizens. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that they've priced us out of education, and it's telling in these results. And I think, it's super exciting to see that women are closing the gap as it pertains. Well, shit, they didn't close and leap the gap between college education. But there's still other problems that exist on the college campus. One, it's still white. The pedagogy is still wrong. It doesn't teach people how to be bank literate. It teaches you how to spell the bank. And also, guess what? 75% of the motherfuckers teaching the same patriarchal bullshit are men. Mostly white men at all these fucking schools. So while women make up the most of the students, just like a church, they are not the ones teaching, and the pedagogy is still that white shit that was being taught in the 60s and 70s.
Mondale, I don't find this stat interesting, because specifically when it comes down to white men are comfortable right now. They know they don't need college. If you are not aspiring for college and you're a part of the white male working class, you've proven that you're comfortable by voting for people who haven't done for you for years, as long as black folks and Latino folks don't have anything. You don't care. You don't care about getting an extra education because you don't need a leg up. You've already proven that you are happy exactly where you are. You've shown America that you are happy exactly where you are because you keep voting for the same people that keep you in economic perils, as long as that black or brown person doesn't have what I have and is not moving into my neighborhood. And if you are a wealthy white person and you're in college, you already got what you need. The white man has lived in ignorance for years. Going to college could possibly change that dynamic. You might learn something about another culture, another society. College educations are not mandated like public school educations are. Therefore, what's the point of me going to college if I am happy exactly where I'm at right now? So of course, the gap is good.
Yeah, Marcus. I mean, and I think we should also stay where you're at, because I mean, there's some science behind what you're saying, and people don't need to think it's just emotional. There's fucking studies that show, bro, what you just said. White men that are high school dropouts make more than black men college graduates. So they can they don't need college to already do what we fucking do. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, people need to understand that this is a motherfucking fact. Like when America's at 5% unemployment rate, black men are at 15 or 16. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right.
You're right. White people are comfortable to the point where, hey, I can get a high school diploma and still make more than what that nigga gonna make with his college degree and his $300,000 college debt.
That's right. And I mean, and if you think about it, if you're a black man that's going to a PWI, not a HBCU, but a PWI, you risk your life on a daily basis just by showing up to class. Do not trip out. If you go to Florida State, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, let me tell you something, black brothers running around Georgia Tech, keep them yellow ass Georgia Tech shirts on while you on your way to class. Do not dress like the streets, because Georgia Tech Police Department will come after you. Florida State Police Department will come after you. They will beat your ass just like you were on the streets, and they will say, well, we thought you were a thug. It is a serious thing. We still have more impediments to our education at PWIs than we do on the streets, right? So, you got to think about these things. I want to move this, unless you got something else. I do want to move this to something kind of fun. Dwayne, do you have that clip that I asked you to download, sir?
Marcus, your transitions are worse than a drunk DJ. What was that today, boss?
I want to make sure that dude got it.
You had me going like this about the police and shit, and then you just saw something funny. I'm like, wait, what happened? This nigga went all the way over there.
Go ahead, Mondale. Did I hurt you?
How you go from Keith Sweat to Young Thug? Keep Sweat to Young Thug, just like that.
Making love in the rain is fine.
I ain't never, boy. I ain't never. Shawty wanna play ball. Look at Shawty wanna play ball. Oh shit.
Squirrel game.
Shawty wanna play ball. Hell no. That boy air chipmunk. That boy air squirrel. That boy
only in
air
Atlanta.
Squirrel. Hey,
only in Atlanta.
Shit.
Wow.
Hey, that boy air squirrel.
Boy, the real motherfucking A. Boy, we real ball players. Everybody got that celebrity, even Squirrel, nigga.
He's sick.
Squirrel game.
Everybody got their celebrity, even Squirrel, Nick. That's what he said.
That's right.
Hey,
that's right. So if you're ever in Atlanta, just know something. I had to put that one on because you are a part of. You're now watching the Squirrel Game, Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. We just saw Ben Dixon. We just saw Ben Dixon crossing people up.
Oh wow!
I miss my dog Ben.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Listen, it's been great. It's Tuesday afternoon. You got your hour. Clickbait T. We'll see y'all. Let's do another show this week, Marcus. Thursday.
I'm down. Let's go.
Same time. Thursday, 3 o'clock.
So are we on Thursday? Are we on Thursday?
Yeah, let's do 3 o'clock Thursday.
Oh yeah. Before we take off, because I saw some confusion, guys. Every Tuesday at 3 o'clock we're doing this show, right? No matter what. Thursday at 3 o'clock is optional.
It's
everybody.
Actually, let's make it 3:15. I got a call with Doc Rivers this Thursday. 3:15.
Hey, I'm actually I got a conversation with Doc. Okay, no problem. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Get that money, man. Listen, thanks for watching.
Hold on, I want to say something real quick.
Yeah.
I like being on the show. I miss y'all niggas. Y'all be easy, and don't forget, We can fuck up the algorithm by y'all liking, subscribing, and sharing this shit with everybody you know. Everybody. That's ERR body. Peace.
Body.
Y'all be great and be lonely. Don't be lonely.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege, take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let our voice be heard. Every single beat night, unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacy system that we live on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, thirst trap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, thirst trap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.